Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm talking about accepting how you feel. And there's been a bit of a theme around this in my sessions recently. I just realised I've got I don't know if you're listening to this, you won't be able to see this, but if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see that I have a light bulb above my head. It makes me look like an angel. I'm going to stay there being an angel then. Marvellous. So accept it. So there's been a theme around this idea of accepting how you feel. And there's kind of a number of parts to this, I think, because if you just say to somebody, just accept how you feel, then they may not be able to do that, because it looks like some feelings aren't comfortable, or they come with uncomfortable sort of physiological things in our bodies, and so we want to get rid of them, don't we? We've been encouraged to prefer some feelings to others. I remember I worked with a little girl around her fear of bees and wasps once, and she had already, by the age of 6, I think she was only 6, she had already could, if I got a piece of paper, put a line down the middle, good feelings and bad feelings, she could categorize them already by the age of 6, which were good and which were bad. And that's the first thing, is that all feelings are exactly the same process by which you experience them. So if you experience a happy feeling, it's because you've got happy thinking. And if you experience an anxious feeling, it's because you've got anxious thinking. Now, that's really helpful when we're not feeling in a way we would like to feel. And trust me, I have preferences. I would prefer not to feel riled up and not to feel anxious and not to feel angry. Of course, but I'm tending to see it more now as information from my system. My system is letting me know what kind of state of mind I'm in any moment. And that's helpful, because it means we can let go a little bit of this categorization. Some feelings are okay, some are not, and then there's less to do. And because if we're already feeling off, and then there's something to do to try and get rid of the feeling, that's more thinking. And when you think that you're uncomfortable, thoughts, uncomfortable feelings come from your thinking, then you're putting more thinking onto the table and actually getting in the way of a system that has a natural propensity to flow. It's a flowing. Your thought system is a flowing system. It isn't a static kind of stuck system. It's a flowing system. It's like the clouds that we all wish would blow faster across the sky, but they are moving all the time. They're always moving. There's always clouds moving. Even when it's thick with clouds, they're still moving. And the sky, the blue sky and the sun are still there all the time. And the reason I've come up with this session today is because of an experience I had. I was in a coaching space a little while ago where a woman came in very, very upset about something that had happened to her, and understandably so when she described what had happened. But the additional layer of stress that was being created was because she had been in a spiritual seeking, conversation around calm and those kind of things. She'd been in those kind of conversations. She'd been working on herself for a long time. She'd had some lovely experiences of seeing the calm within herself and actually experiencing it. And so the additional big chunk of heaviness around this awful feeling she had was, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should know enough now. I've done all this work on myself. Why am I still feeling dreadful? And actually the only thing I needed to say to her was, something terrible's happened to you. Why do you think you shouldn't be feeling that? And that sentence allowed her to fall into the place of accepting how she felt about the thing that had happened, because she had uncomfortable thinking, understandably, about the thing that had happened. And that just allowed a great big chunk to fall away. And she immediately felt better, because yes, there was still the underlying, I don't know what my teeth are, underlying uncomfortable feelings, but they were not then layered on top with all the shoulds about, well, I've been on a spiritual journey, so I should know better than this. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be able to tackle this. So there's kind of two parts to this accepting how you feel. The first part is that your feelings are just, and when I say just, that is not discounting how some feelings can feel pretty awful, but your feelings are a system update to let you know about your state of mind. That's all they ever are. Happy thinking, happy feelings, anxious feelings, anxious thinking, whichever way around you talk about it. They're two sides of the same energetic coin. It's energy that's got stuck and knotted up in your body because of how you're thinking. Now, there's something powerful that happens when you see that, when you see, oh, my system is letting me know my thinking's dodgy right now. So from the place of seeing that, from the place of accepting that you've got this human system that's working, well, human psychospiritual system that's working all the time to create your experience, you can almost just take like a step back where you begin to be the observer of it, rather than being in the thick of it. If you see what I mean, you can just take, oh yeah, okay, I can see my system is working perfectly. It's doing the thing it always does. And then there can be more okayness with that. I get upset about something. I get upset about things all the time, but I got upset about something in particular a few weeks ago, where somebody somebody in my family was upset with me. They were sending me quite unpleasant messages, were angry with me. And I saw how riled up I was. And from that place of seeing I was riled up, well, I knew a few things. I knew that I had riled up thinking. I knew that my system was letting me know that, and that therefore to act in the world, to pick up the phone to that person, have it out with them, which is probably what a big chunk of me, that's what that thinking wanted me to do, was not a good idea. It was not a good idea to do that. So I didn't. I just distracted myself for a bit. And after a bit of time, the feeling kind of passed on, because my mind had settled, and the thinking, there's always a new thought coming in every second, probably less than a second, if we're thinking quickly. So that's the first thing, is that, your feelings are just a representation of your thinking in the moment. You're thinking right now, not your long-term damaged, rubbishy thinking, just in this moment. That's what you're caught up with, and that's what you're feeling. So that's the first thing. But that also, that means that you're a human being. If you're feeling, yay, you're alive, you're feeling because you're alive, because you've got the energy of life flowing through you. And isn't that wonderful? Because the alternative is not being alive. It's called being dead. That's not the where we want to be, is it? So there's something to celebrate in a feeling, because it's a sign that your system is working perfectly, thinking a particular way, feeling a particular way. And so when we are upset about something, or angry, or frustrated, or whatever, then it's easier to be accepting of that when you see that that's just you being human. Human beings are not supposed to live a life that's like this. Now, over time, with coaching and with being in this conversation, I would say rather than going in a great big zigzaggy line, my bumps are, they don't last as long, they're not as up, they're not as down. I'm just more in the middle, I would say. I'm more like here. I still have my moments when I go up there, but I come down much faster, or I come up much faster. I don't know which it is really. And it doesn't feel as, I don't feel as if I'm being pulled about so much. Excuse me, that's a traditional yawn that usually happens in this broadcast at some point, which is great. Nothing wrong with a bit of a yawn. Yeah, so and the other thing is that once we see that that's the system that's playing out, and we realize the nature of thought to flow and the nature of our system to reset back to calm, it's always trying to get us there. We're usually getting in the way, but it's usually, it's always trying to get us there. There's suddenly less to do. So for that lady to realize that she was okay, she was just being human. Why wouldn't she be upset about the thing that had happened? It wasn't nice. It was understandable for her to be upset. She could just take a whole lot of thinking off her plate. Oh, I'm okay. Like seeing that you're okay because you're just doing the human thing. God, if everybody could see that. I just love to imagine a world like that. I think a mental illness would disappear if we were all in that place of acceptance about our feelings. So I'll leave you all with that and with lots of love, and hopefully have a lovely day. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.